After 21 months of campaigning, we're down to 1 week left. Looking at the polls, most have Barack Obama well ahead. Pollster.com this afternoon moved Nevada into the Lean Obama column. 538.com does the cumulative thing and says that overall, McCain's chance of winning the election is less than 4%. But polls and even combinations of polls don't ultimately tell the tale. They're sort of like football statistics, yards gained, penalties, time of possession. They're interesting, they're fun to talk about, but only the final score counts. And predictive and fun as they may be, the stats don't always match the score. Another way to talk about this contest is to analyze the plays that each team makes day to day. Barack Obama, for example, was in Harrisonburg, Virginia tonight on day 2 of his closing argument tour.
In 1 week, we can choose hope over fear, unity over division, change over the status quo. In 1 week, we can come together as one nation and one people and choose our better history. After 21 months of a campaign that's taken us from the rocky coasts of Maine to the sunshine of California, we are 1 week away from bringing change to America. 1 week.
Barack Obama in Virginia. John McCain was in Fayetteville, North Carolina today, making his closing play.
We can't spend the next 4 years, as we have just spent much of the last 8, hoping for our luck to change at home and abroad. We have to act. We need a new direction, and we have to fight for it. And I am convinced that 7 days from now, we will win in North Carolina, and we will win.
I love the speeches, honestly. I love any political speech. But analyzing the rhetoric isn't really a good way to figure out who's winning either. If you like Obama, his speeches make you think he's kicking butt. And if you're a McCain person, he sounds like a fighter. He's making a great case. So how to determine where they really stand this late in the game? Would you bear with me if I tried to use a football metaphor? Yes, I am going to use a football metaphor. Not Keith Olbermann, paid football expert. Me. Thankfully, we have visual aids. Okay, here's the thing about football. It is a territorial game. You're trying to take your opponent's territory away and make it your own. You can usually tell who's winning a football game by where most of the game is being played. Right now, in our football campaign analogy, the Obama-McCain Bowl is being fought at about John McCain's 25-yard line. And that's very bad for John McCain. Here's what I mean. Each team, Republicans and Democrats, has territory, and it's divided, at least in the last 2 elections, at roughly 50-50. And like a football game, if you're playing offense in the other guy's territory, if you are near the other guy's goal line, you're winning. So here's how the 2008 field lays out. Obama, the Democrat, his 1-yard line, the deepest part of his territory, is actually Washington, D.C. That was John Kerry's widest margin of victory in 2004. So you can think about what this means for this election. If Obama were defending Washington, D.C. right now against McCain, you would know that Obama was toast. For John McCain, his 1-yard line would be Utah. That was the reddest of the red vote in 2004. The biggest margin of victory for the Republicans in 2004 was in Utah. It's as deep in McCain territory as it gets. So those are the goal lines. Those are the far ends of the field. The middle of the field, the 50-yard line. These are the states that were just 1 or 2 points apart last time around. They're neither Republican territory nor Democratic territory. They're close. In 2004, these were New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Iowa, Ohio, and New Mexico. This is where the game is typically fought. Noses are bloodied, egos are shattered, injuries are sustained. And again, this time around, both sides are battling there at midfield. But this is the part that's important. Here's where it gets grim for John McCain's side. The rest of the big fights, they're happening all on McCain's half of the field. They're all in McCain territory. States that went Republican in 2004, some by a little and some by a lot. Right around John McCain's metaphorical 40-yard line, states like Florida, Missouri, Virginia. George Bush won all of those fairly handily 4 years ago. Now, you don't want to be fighting on your 40-yard line, but it gets worse, or better, depending on who you're rooting for. North Carolina and West Virginia. They were won even more handily by the Republicans in 2004. They are deeper in McCain territory. McCain is campaigning now in North Carolina, and the Republicans just bought airtime in West Virginia. Obama, in other words, is on the march way down the field into McCain territory. And it gets even worse than West Virginia for McCain. He's fighting for every vote in Indiana now. And now Montana, where we just learned that the Republicans are being forced to spend fresh money. Montana, a state won by George Bush in 2004 by 20 points. If you go by the margins of victory in the last presidential election, McCain defending Montana from Obama would be like Obama being forced to defend Massachusetts from McCain. The game is being played on John McCain's end of the field. And even if Barack Obama doesn't win all those red states, even if he doesn't score a touchdown, he is in field goal range. And he is nowhere near having to defend his own goal line. The farthest McCain has pushed into Obama territory is about Obama's 48-yard line, Pennsylvania, a state that went for Kerry by just 2 points in 2004. What's important here is that Pennsylvania doesn't even represent a good shot for McCain. It's his Hail Mary pass. By most calculations, it's his must-have. It's his desperation move for his narrow victory strategy. So that's where we stand, exactly 1 week out, playing out the last few snaps on Senator McCain's side of the field, deep into Senator McCain's side of the field. Defense, 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 or D with a fence, D with a fence, D with a fence is not the chant that you want your crowd to take up when you are this far back on your own side of the field with time running out.